Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, I'm Sriwidharti.R. I'm from class BG7F. So now we want make it a project final Psycholinguistics about definition, language, and talk. So language is one of the system through which we communicate, and it typically involves communication through sound and written communication with the use of symbols. But it can also involve our bodies like body language, how we smile, move, and approach people are all forms up for interpretation in the game of language. So, thought is generally refers to mental or intellectual activity that involves a person's subjective awareness. In the term of language, thought in short is a person's mental ability to understand and produce an expression or utterance. For example, many languages have words that are not present at all in others, and there is no English equivalent to the German word fruit, and which refers to the experience or pleasure caused by witnessing another person at first sight. And as we also tend to think using language several words, theories that the language we use will affect how we see and think of the world. Now we move explain about language and thought according to Chomsky and Vygotsky. According to Chomsky, professor that language acquisition is an innate ability for children already born with the ability to acquire the rules that govern language, and grammatical rules are common to all languages even though they may differ across them. And according to Vygotsky's social-cultural theory of cognitive development, in early development speech and talk are independent, and they two processes merge when speech is internalized. In Vygotsky theory, language is considered to be cultural tool that plays a key role in development. The next material about relationship between language and thought. There are two main theories that represent different perspectives on language and thought, namely Piaget's and the pure word hypothesis. For Piaget's stage theory of cognitive development, according to Piaget's theory, language is preceded by and depends on thought. Before children can use a word correctly, they need to first develop an understanding of the concept behind them. This occurs through the development of schema, a process which predates language development. And according to this view, to communicate their dislike of broccoli, a child needs to first develop a schema about not linking it. Having developed the schema and expression about how broccoli tasted, the child can express their dislike. And for example, Piaget's theory is children can be told phrases like no broccoli before they ever see or try it, but they won't be able to use it in a meaningful way until they understand what the parasite means. And for the several word hypothesis is the central idea behind the several word hypothesis is that our native language affects how we think about the word we use to create narrative about the world influence how we represent internally. And for example, the several word hypothesis is word argued the Native American happy culture lack an understanding of the concept of time. He attributes this to the lack of terminology that places event in time in their language. According to his theory is the lack of linguistic expression of time change the way this culture talk of understood in time. He also pointed to the fact that the unit language has a lot more words for snow than the English language, suggesting that Inuit culture perceives snow differently from Europeans and is able to distinguish between different types of snow. So I think that's all from explaining about definition language and talk. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.